Yes, people, right now we're locked in with the one and only Fred Lux, okay? People, I'm really looking forward to this interview. It's a blessing. So, of course, Fred Lux, tell the listeners a little something about who you are and what you do.
Okay, Fred Locke, singer, songwriter. My best song, or my signature song, my biggest, it was Black Starliners.
Yes.
And the UK now, my soldier say, true as somebody is the right name, but everybody call it soldier say. I've been singing from, recording rather, from 1967 when I was just 17.
Wow.
I was a lead singer for a group called The Lyrics. We did a lot of songs for the studio one label, Sir Coxon. In the 70s, I went solo and started singing as Fred Locks. And there I made Black Star and album. I have a couple of hit songs on it. And I'm still in it because you have to be in it to win it. So Fred Locks is a Rastafarian who sings songs of love and culture and messages and, you know, all these songs that are relevant to the times because we want people to listen to songs and can relate to them, you know?
For real,
So
definitely.
that's a new thing, right?
Wow. And so, how did this journey begin? How did this music journey begin for you?
My journey began because my father was an accomplished guitarist.
Okay.
And he used to play his guitar and sing. It wasn't the singing wasn't the best part of him, so he would call me to do the singing. At a young age, I could read properly, so he'd have some manuscript with the music notes, and he would play and say, "You sing these things," and the words were written between the notes, you know, like in the lines. And I would read them, I would sing them, and he was saying that, "Oh, you're sounding good." So I was so encouraged by my father to sing, because he always called me and he realized I could sing. So I tell people this all the time. Every time I get an interview, I say, about at 8 years old, my father used to take me to some bars.
Yeah.
I would sing, then I would sing, and his friends would give me food and even money.
Wow.
Because I was a little youth, 8 years old. I could sing some big tunes, some Nat King Cole, and wow. See?
Wow.
And, you know, those were the songs that influenced me because the American music was like the influential music to the Jamaican singers on the whole, because, you know, that was what we was getting from the doo-wop days. And, you know, it's come on to the, you know, like Kat-a-lyst, the Drifters, and all these songs, the impressions, we were listening to those songs. So that inspired me to realize I could write songs. So at age 12, I wrote my first song.
Wow.
Which I recorded a couple of years ago. The first song I ever wrote, I didn't get to record it when I was recording at 17 years old at Studio One. The fact being that I wasn't getting paid, so by the time we record some songs that we had preferred, we wasn't getting paid, so we get depressed, reluctant to deal with it, you know. And then my group members, two of them migrated, one in 69 and one in the following year. And then the faith of Rastafari was embedded in me, so I got withdrawn away and started, you know, not to dreadlocks and whoa. And then after a while, I started to say I have to still sing because I was writing songs, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's when Black Starliner came about. I was encouraged by a brother who produced it to not bury my talent, but to record the song.
Yeah.
You know, and I did just that. And the rest is history because he eventually did an album with me, which was distributed in England by a company in Balkan at the time.
Yeah.
And that caused me to get a tour of England in 78. Yes, and you know, it was okay because it set me on a path that I'm still following.
Definitely.
Because singing is really my thing. Music is my thing. I even have an album called Music is My Calling.
Yeah.
It was released digitally, you know?
For real.
Because well, you have to, if something is in you, you can't subdue it. So I'm into music because music is into me, you know?
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to Rastafari, you know, me personally, it's something that's a liberty, it's about life. And I wanted to know, because there's been lots of different discussions about the authenticity. And, you know, it's one of the questions that I've wanted to ask you in particular as a Rasta man. And kind of your thoughts about it in regards to, you know, the recent events that we've had and how people behave and they're wearing locks. The question of Rastafari has been a big question. And I wanted to know what you thought about it.
The first statement I would make is that not every dread is a Rasta, is not every Rastafarian dread.
Yeah.
It's all about, it's a liberty. So a lot of people attribute dreadlocks to Rastafarians, In the earlier days when you saw somebody with locks, they were Rastafarians. But now you have sister locks.
Yeah.
You have all kind of people can just put on locks for various reasons. Them like the culture, they would say, and them not Rastafarians. So locks does not define Rastafarians to me. So this is where a lot of people get it wrong, because I have confronted people with locks and say Rastafari to them, and them say they are not Rastafarians.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So when people say these people misrepresent, people with locks misrepresent what they thought was Rasta, they seem to want to blame Rastafarians, you know, and say, oh, this locks person. But Rastafarians come in like a denomination, like the regular thing, you know, because you have people with diverse doctrines who are part of the cult, part of a Rastafari movement. Them takes the cult movement. But to me, Rastafarians are ones who follow the teachings of Rastafari.
Yeah.
This is where the name springs from, right?
Definitely.
So you have people branch out and them have their own ideologies and preach it as doctrines.
Definitely.
But I Majesty that I present Haile Selassie, he says that he glory in the Bible, so the Bible is like the guidebook for me. And his master speeches, he said, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance. And, you know, when you read the Bible, it tells you that our nations have to bow. It tells you it's not what you eat defile you. Some would want to disagree with that, but it's really true. Because a man could could be a vegan and not a Rastafari, them have locks too. You know, and righteous people die likewise the wicked. So it's not really the things you eat that keep you. And if you even lose your flesh, even feel you, that don't mean that you was wicked or anything, you know?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that liberty is not just people regarding maybe the religion. It could be put in that category to compare with different religions.
Yeah.
Because, you know, but Rastafari is a liberty. This is the only new thing that has come in the centuries that we have been in. Everything was before this that people knew about. But Rastafari, the emergence of the Rastafari faith seemed new to everybody, you know, because I was reading an article which says only Jesus Christ and Selassie are religion form around their names, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
See? And so Rastafari to I is a man who get the titles that befitting to the returned Messiah. And if I see him as the Son, I have see him as the Father, because I'm saying the Father is one. Haile Selassie means power of the Trinity, the three in one and one in three. The Father, the Son, and the Holy One, which is just one flesh. First Timothy 3:16 explains that properly what I'm saying. It says, for without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. God was manifest in flesh. Although the Bible says God is a spirit, the Bible says God was manifest in flesh, justified in spirit, seen of angels, preached unto the Gentiles, believed on in the world, and received up in glory. That's a description of Christ coming to earth and leaving. So Timothy was telling people that Christ is God himself, but God the Son, a representative of the Godhead on earth. When he comes back to judge the earth, I don't care what form him come, it doesn't matter to me, but I know the representation of the Godhead on earth was the King of Kings, and is the King of Kings. From such time when Christ was even crowned with thorns, he must say he is King of the Jews and everything. Now that same one come back, not in the same flesh, but the returned Messiah, being Haile Selassie, book tell you in Revelation 5 that we not the older line of the tribe of Judah, the root of David that prevailed to open the book and loose the seven seals thereof. Revelation 5 then 22 tell us, I, Jesus, have sent mine angels to testify unto you these things in the church. I am the root and the offspring of David. Saying that he was before David and after him, but the same family line. This is why Rastafari is Selassie. Now it couldn't be a coincidence that this man comes sit down on the same throne that was promised and get the title King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And why I said the Father and the Son is one, when Christ was walking thousands of years ago, saying Philip turned to him and asked him, who is this Father we're telling always talking about? Him say, I'm in the Father and the Father and I and the Father are one, you know? That's why when Christ was crucified, him could rise up, you know? Because they can't kill the Lion of the tribe of Judah, you know?
Definitely.
He's the real Lion King, right? So that's my explanation of Rastafarian. But I am not here to judge and say who is from, who is not, because I don't have that power. But I know it's one thing, it's not everybody who go locks is Rastafarian, so I want people to get that clear. Because a lot of people who have locks will tell you that straight. See? And then now, even some who are Rastafarians, they have a different lifestyle some emphasize. I'm a vegan, but I don't think it's a food doctrine.
Yeah.
I would say because I don't eat meat and fish that I am more Rasta than everybody. I the man who eat that is less Rasta. There are some people preaching food and ear doctrine.
Yeah.
And put too much emphasis on that more than love and liberty and unity.
Definitely.
So I don't think we should preach our ideologies as part of a doctrine. Preach the teachings of His Majesty, and He teaches that the Bible is a guideline in growing the Bible. And the Bible tells you what can be eaten from what cannot be eaten.
Yes.
So on that part, and the last thing now on that part, I'm not on a Nazarite vow, because a Nazarite vow was for a period. When you're reading Numbers and them things, if you bow the rough and all that, to be holy unto the Lord. But that vow had a limitation. If you see a dead body, you'd have to cut off your locks. Now, I'm a dreadlocks Rastafari because I think this is how a man should stay.
Yeah.
I'm not on a Nazarite vow because we don't want to live by law but by grace. Why there's none that do it good that a man should think so, you know. Why boast of thyself for evil men, playing smart but not being clever, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not about feeling that because you live a liberty, that is the right liberty for everyone. But I think Rastafarian should represent the teachings of Haile Selassie.
Yeah.
Although not perfect, we will make mistakes as it's human to err.
Yeah.
But we must not overemphasize or get too judgmental on other people because they don't see things like we do.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think the part that we should take is to try to follow the teaching of His Majesty. And even a speech concerning religion himself. Religion is man-made, but spirituality is inborn.
Yeah.
So religion is something that people can preach, and it is different rituals. But inside of yourself, man was made to serve God, you know.
For real.
So man must know that whether you can read and write or whatever, you have that within you to know what is right for wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely. Appreciate, you kind of breaking it down for the listeners out there so that people understand. Because sometimes, we just see the images or we might see certain quotes and so on, but people don't always understand. So I think you did that well.
Thank you very much. I wanted to do that well, so I tried it to the best of my ability. I think it's because I don't want to be so self-centered. I think that I'm more than anybody or less than anybody, because at the end of the day, this is my life, this is my concept, this is my liberty. So I must be able to explain why I'm doing this. I have to have the explainable truth in order for somebody to understand you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to impose, oppose, or support anybody within the Rastafari community neither. Because we are peculiar people. You have Bobo Shanti, them all are harder. Rastafari, you have Nyabingi, more church, you have 12 tribes. So I said, all them 12 tribes gathering the tribes according to a birth, and it was written from long time, so, you know.
Definitely.
And it will come back in Revelation and say, I heard the number of them which were sealed. So I think all the people who accept that the Lion of the tribe of Judah is our God and King. The brethren shall praise, Genesis 49, that Judah is you, his brethren shall praise. So when the Judah, the lawgiver, the one who should sit and when him come now, I think everyone should accept the tribes. So I say 12 tribes, Nyabingi and Bobo Shanti, the Rastafari community, as one big Rastafari community.
Yes, definitely.
One road, different roads that lead to the same destination. Because who am I to tell a man him shouldn't be a Bobo or a 12 tribe or a Bingi, you know? This is everyone that call upon the name of Rastafari and try to shine that light. Because the scripture says, and this man says, endorse the scripture, it says, let your light so shine that men may see your good works and glorify the Father that is in heaven. So I'm saying now, if anybody will misrepresent with locks, it's one or two things. They are preaching their own thing, or they're not really Rastafarians.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
For real, definitely. So, with speaking of that, how did you meet, or how did you kind of get in contact with Cox and Dodd? How did that relationship happen?
Oh, I like this question. When I was like 12 years old.
Wow.
My brother, I didn't mean to my 12, I'm telling you that history that lead up to that.
Yeah.
My brother and Jackie Mitu, the great Jackie Mitu, used to play in the same band. The band was called the Rivals. Now, Jackie Mitu left high school and came to, when he was coming to my yard, we had a piano, and he would play, my brother would play the guitar. And he left his last set of high school textbook and his tie from Kingston College at our house.
Yeah.
and them form a band called the Rivals, right?
Yeah.
And then Mr. Leibniz, who was a drummer for the Katalyst, before it was even formed at the time, was even a couple doors from my house.
Wow.
And eventually they got Jackie Me Too to come around them, you know. And the band, the Rivals, never went too far because Jackie left and joined the Katalyst as a founding member, really.
Yeah.
And then now Jackie Me Too happened to be like the resident musician and arranger at Coxon. So when I was 17 years old, let me rewind. When I was 12 years old, I got to listen to them in 1962.
Yeah.
A singer named Bob Marley was the singer for the band, the Rivals. That is the first Katalyst. And he used to sing some tune like Daddy's Home and Anniversary. So because I realized I could sing, I would follow my big brother to rehearsals. And he would run me sometime, you know. Come on, go on, man, you know. Me now go up. I'm a corona. So one time when I got out with him, Honey Boy Martin, the singer, didn't come. So they must play a tune and I was starting. I am playing Daddy's Home and I said, now I've waited for this moment to be by your side. The best friend look and told me you have teardrops in your eyes. That is home. That is home to stay. Jackie Me Too, I said, well, you come I can't sing, but go and sing it now. And then I start saying, tomorrow will be our anniversary. So while I was singing that one, here comes the singer now, and Jackie started to mouth, hey, look, boy, I can sing better than you, take away your job. And I'm saying, hey, boy, you have a box, you know, you have laugh up, like you feel good about that. So, fast forward now, Jackie Me Too now, would come, because we live in the same community, him come and hear me singing still. I said, yeah, look, brother can sing with you, come studio one, man. So I went studio one, because my father was my inspiration, and he encouraged me. When I was 17, my father said to me, what you want to do when you grow up? I said, I don't know. I said, what can you do? You're supposed to know when you're a teenager what you want to do. I said, well, I can sing and play football, what I'm called soccer.
Yeah.
I said, which one you prefer? And I said, I prefer music, singing. I said, well, if you love what you're doing and doing what you love, pursue it. And it was in that same time Jackie Me Too come now and hear me singing. And I said, come studio one. So I went there as a 17-year-old and I did like 5 songs. The first songs we did was in 1967. Before my 18th birthday, I did 3 songs. It was in the Rocksteady era.
Yeah.
And then the following year, we didn't get paid and I got distracted. And Jackie Me Too come again and see me, him and Bob Marley see me on a herb camp. We used to stand up on the beach and smoke chalice and sing my brother play a guitar. And them come and say, come again, man, you don't come back to studio once. So I go up there again and do 2 songs. One of the rhythms was the rhythm that Bob Marley, them give Bob Marley to sing, Desperate Lover. How do you feel when your baby is gone? My song created that rhythm.
Wow.
But I was young and cocky, so would say that Bob Marley needed the next hit and the song form a good rhythm, so I give him to write songs. And that was the norm at the time, where people were singing on other rhythms. So it was really that thing that hurt me really bad, you know.
For real. And you know, you've worked with Vincent Chin. I want to know how that came about.
Vincent Chin was a V in VPs.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. What happened after the Studio One era, and 2 years after, when we did the last set of songs for Coxon in 1968 when I was 18.
Yeah.
Now, the first one of my group that migrated, he left in 1969 for the U.S. So I continued with the next member. We sang some song now for VPs, Vincent Chin rather.
Yeah.
We did the first remake of Bridge Over Troubled Water. It was doing it like Simon and Garfunkel. The other next singer was Albert Tomlinson.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
We had them sing together. We did a couple songs for Vincent Randy Chin. No, I done a song for Scratchberry. Never, but he was in studio when I was in studio when he was doing some Bob Marley songs.
Yeah.
I don't know, the second time somebody asked me about the Scratchberry era, but as I'm telling you now, we never did anything together, but
okay.
I would see him, you know?
Yeah.
But a lot of people at that time was using Randy's studio to record because this is where Bob Marley did Double Conqueror, Soul record, all them songs for all the scratch. In those years, before scratch had his studio, I would think. Then would come and rent on the studio in downtown Kingston. And Bob, I was here when he did Rock My Soul.
Wow.
I remember Shining. I was in the studio and Bob sing that. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, what was that like when you seen, you know, Bob Marley singing those tunes? What was that like for you?
Before that, when we used to go to Coxon was a sound man.
Yeah.
Because I realized that a lot of sound men who become engineer or studio operators seem to get the best out of artists.
Okay.
And most of the greatest engineers are studio owners and producers. So you name them, Coxon, Joe Creed, King Tubby's.
Yeah.
You know, all of them were sound men before.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
So I used to see Bob Marley in dances. When them do all them sketch tune, like, you know.
Yeah.
I used to go dance. Coxon used to play every Sunday at a place nearby to where I live. So every Sunday I would go to this named Gold Coast. I would go there and you'd hear the song before it even play on the radio. The first time them play all Simmer Down. The first time them play all right named a Bunny Wheeler leader. So who's gonna dance with me tonight? First time them play I'm gonna put it on. I was in them dances. So when Bob Marley come in a dance with a big soul rebel, everybody like Bob Marley that, you know. And like people, it was like an icon before me even get big.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
So yeah man, so that time now when you see Bob Marley, you know, so I can say I'd like to be like him because to me he was like the most recognized artist that you could listen to.
Yeah.
At the time.
Okay. Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was always enthused to it, you know. So when Bob Marley even got older and I could see him like more as a virgin, like where Rassi would go around him. He would pass me and tell me, say, I was telling an interview earlier today.
Yeah.
I did a song named Gun Court. And Bob, here it was recorded by the producer who did my Black Sailor album. It was like some follow-up song.
Yeah.
And somehow Bob had some 12 tribe people working at his place, Tough Gang.
Yeah.
And look at me with the song and then pass me. I said, I like that song there. I'll tell the producer to check with. So he brought out that song and I read it. I was so enthused. Wow. A Tough Gang label come up and the only song everybody that come out on Tough Gang label.
Wow.
You know, so yeah, that was nice, you know.
For real.
So, you know, Bob Marley really has to be honored, respected, and given the due accolades and kudos for carrying our music worldwide.
Definitely.
And then I must say too, and England was the port that sent out everything because of most people don't like the truth, but because of the Jamaican people who had migrated, like the Windrush era.
Yeah.
A lot of their children grew up in England and they decided that they feel happy to know that reggae music or the Jamaican music could come to their shores. So in England, that's how you could know too. In England, a lot of people, even people like Ryder Cox who have Jamaican background, they help to promote our music in England and the people get to love it. So when England was like the place where you come here from any part of Europe, soup England, you go to France, you go to Belgium, you know?
Yeah.
So this was something great because I am saying that our music through Bob Marley and the people who grew up in England from even Caribbean descent and more from Jamaican background, they push the music like wow, you know?
Definitely.
And music just reach out to all ports. I just did an interview for you know, a Nigerian, and the man said he has been, I feel honored to be interviewing Fred Lux, it's like my lifelong desire, you know.
Wow.
And then I mean that the word go out, you know.
Yeah.
See?
True.
Yeah, man, so this is everything, yeah. I have the history, you know, so there are a lot of questions that people ask that I can answer, you know.
Definitely.
So,
and you know,
yes.
I wanted to ask you because you are literally like a history book, and I'm listening to you, and I just wanted to ask, you know, Black Star Liner, So Just Say, no matter what dance, everybody's playing it, even to this day. I know. And I wanted to know where that passion came from. How did those tunes come about from you?
Number one, Black Star Liner.
Yeah.
The influence of American music was so embedded in our people as Jamaican artists. That was what we was hearing on the airwaves.
Yeah.
So I was singing pure love songs. Even the songs I recorded for Kat was like don't let no man break your heart, you know.
Yeah.
Her name, girls like dirt, I get it. It's all about girls intimate relationship that goes sour,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So when I turned 18, and you know, and as well as I came to Jamaica in 1966, I was so and choose to go and see him and everything. After that, I was more like inclined to say that I'm supposed to be a Ras, you know?
Yes,
but
definitely.
it happened gradually. And then I used to go on the beach with my brother, the guitar, so I was playing, and they would play, and would come in like a jukebox. I would sing, and my group would be singing like, wow. Like for hours, lick your chalice and sing, everybody like, yo, sing that song that we call it singing the Bob Marley song and the Dear Lads, you know, any impressions, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we should have sing little girl, again you are blue. Another fellow has gone and left you. See you come back to be your best friend. Tell another tragic story again. But each time I look in your eyes, one more time and I'll realize, I'm the one who loves you. You know?
Wow.
So we can sing all them tunes there.
Yeah.
There's a Milton, you know?
Wow.
So, man come to me and said, like on our side of the faith, man, sing some cultural song, man. I man to sing some more spiritual tune, you know. See?
Yeah.
So I said, got him said to me, hear this. Some more Marcus Garvey and the Black Star Line, you know. And the time, you know, I never have enough knowledge about Marcus Garvey and the Black Star Line, you know.
Yeah.
But he was saying to me, him gave me the medal. Him said, "Say the Black Star Line." I said, "Where could that, my youth?" You know. So I went to him and get a book. My sister's a 12 member, I think, and she did bring home this little excerpt from Marcus Garvey, Philosophy and Opinion. And I looked through it and just read it off. It's just excerpts, so it take about an hour to read off the whole book. So I read it off and just start singing more about the Black Star and go to win the next day and say, "All right, a song about the Black Star, I know them." So that's my youth, a quickie. But although I wrote that from 1968, I didn't work on it until 1975.
Wow.
Because in that era, you know, the Rastafari faith and one man migrate from the group, and the next man I sing, and, you know, that was forthcoming, like financially, so, you know. And then him go migrate now, so I was left alone. But the name Fredlocks came about because I was singing this song, and some youth was hearing me and two people singing. Then them come over and couldn't believe it, some rats singing like that. There were some friends all over the place, and one that's all singing like that. See?
Wow.
And when them say, "What's the name of your group?" No, my middle name is Anthony, so I had called the group. Every time I had a group, I always get the lead singing part.
Yeah.
See? So I was saying, Tony and the Melancholies. So you would say, that name doesn't sound like no Rasta name. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to choose a better name than that. So I was just saying to myself, I'm going to call myself Fredlocks like I'm a dreadlocks. Write your name across the sky. Is this song? Yeah, Betty Bye Gallo. Yeah, that's the part of it. I was singing, there's a spark of magic in your eyes. Candle on the face each time you smile. Never thought that fairy tales came true, but they come true when I'm near you. Write your name across the sky. Anything you ask, I'll try. I bet you by golly, wow. When the man said myself the truth that when name is so like that, I just call myself Fredlocks and it work.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
So I sang on stage the first time as Fredlocks with Counters and the Mystic Revelation, because the same place where it was is a theater that was refurbishing. The owner for it, his father built it and he was refurbishing the place. And so I'm going to start back after it fixed up to keep a show. So I was rehearsing with a band called Youth Professionals.
Yeah.
Them come down to one rehearsal, but the man never have no money because him tell everything hard. So them come one rehearsal and look at him getting a quarrel over money and him never come back. So, and they was telling me I sound like John Holt, you know?
Wow.
But anyhow, after they left now, the people say me living in the community and they want to hear me sing. So Count as an Mystic Revelation was on the show. And called from me and I go sing Black Star Liners with Counters and the Music Revelation. This was like 1973, before it was even recorded. And I was calling from where I remember singing on Dennis Brown. And Cedric Imbrooks was playing horns with Counters, you know. Yeah. I sure wish we had recorded them thing in them time, that like even somebody would have recorded to believe not a tape recorder, because there's nobody who have anything about it, and that was like, wow. From Kete drum with and Cedric Brooks just get a solo and play it, and wow, the place are good. So them say more than I sing Dennis Brown. Now that the change has come, we must live as one. Now that the change, it's just a love sing, like me not sing no more.
Yeah.
But wow. So I sing that and I say, yo, and the place, you know, so from that the name Dreadlocks came about. And that's what it came about 73. I never recorded on Black Star until 1975, because of the fact that I was saying that I love music and music is in me. I wasn't getting enough from it to survive then. Because the times in Jamaica, producers just record and don't pay you. And then them could tell you anything like him. So you do the song, it's only sell 100 copies and you get up 30 shillings to get you know, from before, like from the Coxie era. But the man who recorded Black Star Liner, he was the one who said to me, somebody recorded it on a cassette recorder. I was singing it to a guitarist and a person playing.
Wow.
With them finger and a paint pan, a kind of paint coming to. And somebody recorded it and go to this man, and he was a 12 tribe man who always passed, so I never hear it. Although the whole way about that, so I see the segregation that we talked about earlier. So I see this man coming towards me, and I started look around, and I say, you look, jump, together, you come to, you know. I say, hey. And I say, listen to this. And I say, boy, this man recorded I sing this, and he's a 12 tribe man, as you know, but me I like record you know.
Yeah.
So I say, it's not a being guy saying I know record reggae music, I know my thing, you know, just not a being give me a whole order. And the man say, if you have a talent and bury it, you're sure to lose it. This was a Saturday. The Sunday I go look for him. So him say, I want to record, I couldn't sleep. It's like I said, wow. And when I got to him, I didn't know that 12 tribe did have them Sunday meetings, so I was gone to the meeting.
Yeah.
The next day, my wife told me, say, you can come back and check him when I go to Monday now. To say I'm going to work. That time it wasn't the norm for dreadlocks people to get out of a job. Yeah. But I realized this dread was one who went to university in America and got him different credentials. I was a teacher and teach pharmaceuticals in a big college.
Yeah.
I said, wow. So when the evening I go back to him and say, Jay, you come again. I say, ready for record to him? He said, yes, I am.
Wow.
Went to the same Randy's studio, where I used to record that before for Randy's. So then we went to the studio and we did 2 songs. Time to Change, which people call Last Days, and Black Star. But with the likes of great musicians like Earl China Smith, Jack Jerry from Katalyst, Earl Bagawak on bass, Pablo Black. You know, this was like an all-star names from different bands, you know.
Wow.
And the rhythm, and Black Star came out and was a hit, like, you know. Wow. And when the next song come out, a writer puts a Dreadlocks write a song, sing a song that it was Black Star giving people hope. Then the next one named Time to Change, saying children having children, pestilence, and then I say bring back judgment so quick. So the next song, I think was a better song, but it never take off like Starliners did. But eventually, we did an album called Black Starliners, True Rastaman. And it was it's True Rastaman and called Soldier. So when I got to England in 78 to tour, when I do True Rastaman, I do place mash up, bad.
Definitely. You know? Wow.
And I went back there in the 2000 and something, I see a virgin in the house then, was at a restaurant, and them say, yeah, I look familiar, you know. I say, yeah, I don't know. So them say, what is that? I'm a singer. Them say, what do you sing? I say, Black Starliner. I'm saying, any other song, I'm saying, so that's it. Shot that you try to say first. Because you're a bad boy, that's not going to revival dance and not play that. A pure shot my fire. So musical power, yeah.
Definitely. You know what, Dreadlocks, did you realize the impact of your songs and kind of what the impact would be for future generations of your songs?
Well, just recently I started to realize. Okay. Because even I'm at a studio named Caveman Studio.
Yeah.
And I am playing the dub plates of True Rastaman and Starliner. like more than anything I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
And right now, I have two for do tomorrow. Everybody come with them two songs. So okay, man, so well, Fredo, we never get for them song there. They get it now.
Yeah.
So I realized that people grow up on them. And you know, when we do them songs first, I wouldn't even get an airplane in Jamaica, like it's just a certain sound system would have played Fred Blacks.
Yeah.
Because Jamaica, unfortunately, never want to hear the message music. And you know, Radigan come to Jamaica and compete with Barry G.
Yeah.
And Barry G have play more American music than Radigan. That them ever say, I can't believe I come to Jamaica and you're not playing reggae, you know? See?
Definitely.
So, yeah, so it's kind of like it's overseas people. That, although I'm not a prophet, but this part of the scriptures would be very, very relevant to him. Say a prophet is without and even in his own country.
Yeah.
Because it take outsiders to recognize what we had in store for them and what was really relevant to daily living and to people liberty to. Like Rastafari community that them check as somebody should be downtrodden. And today, you know, Bob Marley carried Jamaica all over the world, and we was the least of the apostles before, you know?
Yeah.
You understand?
Definitely.
So it come right around now that the recognition that we're getting. I'm glad that people can say through our music, they are being inspired to continue in whatever they're doing, and even on a musical trend too. A lot of youth can say because of their music, them see the Rastafari lifestyle and liberty, and we can see where the baton can carry on to some younger generation. A lot of them not really having the right concept. Some of them kind of get self-centered, but with age you get more matured. You know?
Yeah, for real.
Because the younger dreadlocks artists, them kind of get hype and things, so them say them more revive reggae, when reggae died, you know?
Yeah.
You know, they can never get drowned or nothing. It's just a matter, I think, evildoers outnumber goodly people and godly people, so. A lot of people like Satan Army because a lot of people love Jamaica dancehall music. I know dancehall as a place, so I'm going to call it dancehall, but there's nothing wrong with the beat and sometimes the kind of lyrics. You can put conscious lyrics on any beat and make people adhere to it and listen and learn from it. But the 3/4 of the world look at them prefer Barabbas more than Christ, you know?
For real.
Satanic word. So them love the foolishness. But we're not going to stop at what we're doing to please nobody. You know, because somebody has to do what we are doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. It's just a matter of say, nowadays, we have to go harder, but we're glad for the one them who accept it and want to carry on the works. And them say, we just hope that the works don't fall on deaf ears. You know, because it's a mission we are, you know. Rastafarian singers, it's not just the ordinary people. Them come with, we're using this music as a vehicle to transport a message to reach to the right people. You know?
For real, definitely.
So that is my mission. Yeah, man.
And you know, even your newest, you know, your latest releases, No to Racism, Praise Jah, those are some fantastic tunes. And I want to know how they came about.
You see, nowadays I will tell people this, and you have to have the ability to write up like that. I just voice a tune Wednesday.
Yeah.
Never listened to the rhythm before. The man sent it to me, and for some reason I delete it, and then send it back, and I said, boy, this brother did some good work for me. So I'm Sweden. Okay. I said, when I just go studio, I make the man put on the rhythm and just sing.
Wow.
And he just do that, and I just come up with that song named Life's Journey. And the man called me back from Sweden. Perfect looks. I think it's from your Fatty's album.
Yeah.
The Exterminator. I think this is the best song you have come with for these couple of decades. I really think it's the best. And I'm glad you did it for me. I said, thank you. And the song now, Praise Jah, this letter come from America. And one of my Jamaican brethren, he was in Jamaica with her. And them say, Mommy and she do a collab.
Yeah.
Which he wasn't even at the studio. I think he was somewhere in the look for some family. And she came to the studio where I was, at Caveman Studio. And she said, well, like this, I want to listen to some rhythm. So when she reached that one, I said, I like this one, you know. I didn't have none before. I said, why did I hear that wait? You know?
Yeah.
And start singing. And she said, I like that Fred Lock. So I just go into the Caveman and said, go inside, go to your part, you know. I just go in there and sing, and I said, you come in, and she just come and sing. We didn't write nothing, and I can't believe it.
Wow. You know, that's what seems to be so amazing about yourself as an artist is you hear something and you know what you want to do and you go and do it. But I know it can't be that easy. It can't be that easy.
Oh, I have a talent. A lot of people can do it like me, you know. I used to sizzle in studio one day, I sizzle recorded without writing down anything, without having 33 songs.
Wow.
So it's about having a gift. There
Yeah.
are some people learn to do things and they master it after a while. There are some people who come to sing and them off key and them out of time and them can use that thing, them auto tune and put them voice in tune.
Yeah.
They can through computer you can put back them voice in time in. You know?
For
So
real.
but when people have those problems, they never really born to sing.
Yeah.
Because them go up on a set, them can't them never misrepresent, them can't present themselves. A lot of them I see that happen to, you know?
Yeah.
But I think when people have it naturally, it's a God-given thing, you know? You understand? Because
Definitely.
not everybody can do what some people can do just like that. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
So, yeah, for real.
Wow.
So, you know, I have a new song that I did on the Humanity Rhythm named Just Sees and Knows Everything.
Yes.
And I sent it to some stone man and I'm saying, you see the song with the other daughter, mother than everything, you know?
Yeah. You know what it is, Fredlux, is that since I was young kid, I'm 28 now, I've been listening to you, you know, and it's just like it means a lot to speak to you. You know, it means a lot, and you know, the fact that you've taken the time out, it means a lot, for real.
You don't know everything nice.
Yeah, man, and
That's many one people said, yeah.
yeah, and you know, for real, Fredlux, and I wanted to know from yourself, what can young people do nowadays, you know, as some advice from somebody who has been in the business and learnt the business and knows about it and what's happening. What advice could you give them?
You know, I want to tell you now, I want to ask them what advice them can give us. Because you know what time we sang for nothing but them youth know the business more than us now.
Yeah.
Because of we having computers and it's them the youth them come overnight and benefit more. So I want to ask them how you do this more certain things and the youth them come nowadays. Not that money is the greatest thing, but some of them come and get rich overnight. And some of them, I'm glad we never bust from long time, because some of them get so hype. Give them peace.
Yeah.
If you ever go out near them go like, you know, call them things, and material things make them better. But all I want is my rights, and I don't want nothing more than my rights.
Yeah, definitely.
So to know the business part is a good thing too, you know. So my advice now to youths who coming into it, don't make what happened to me and other artists from our era happen to you know, which a lot of them know that already, because them have the angle now, you know.
Wow.
If you not say about in a music thing now, on a different level now, if you love, like what my father said to me, if you love what you're doing and doing what you love, pursue it.
Yes.
See?
Yeah.
And you will benefit somehow. Even a form of feeling like I've achieved something. I've accomplished something. Even if you never get no financial reward, you're doing what you love, so you feel happy about it. But the business part is more important, in a sense, for liberty, to be able to afford to live off what you're doing, you know? I don't want to be to have this talent and then you know have benefit financially and you get frustrated, you know.
Yeah.
It's gonna lead some people to insanity. I do something wrong, you know.
Definitely.
Sometimes some people young youth I feel because never get paid for them doing like the producer for dead. And some of them that really have a talent. A man producer tune them and play up on the radio 6 times and him say him turn millionaire and the man rob them, you know.
Wow.
That's you one check sell that, you know.
Yeah. So what's next for Fredlux? What can the listeners look forward to? Because I know that you've got so much happening.
Right now, my latest thing is that I have an album out called Bigger Tunes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's doing very well. I get a lot of interview through this album. It's like a young lads produce it.
Yeah.
And you know, man, a lot of faith in me. Bring out an EP before me call Right Away. Because I have 7 tracks and 6 of them was done right away.
Wow.
And one was done before. So we just, all the video before of them before the song Voice.
Wow.
And because it was so the serious thing and the arm of them go on after it. They just do the beat and say, yo, me could just do this and when them done them say come sing and I'm a genius. So anyhow, this album I'm doing them Bigger Tunes. It come out and I started to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
You know, from people about this album and just digitally released. Now My latest thing now is that I'm doing an album for one of your hometown people, Black Adred, who comes from London, Jamaican. I have an album with him. It just finished mixing to be mastered, but because this album we got tuned out, we have to wait and not flood the market with dreadlocks. You'll be competing with your own self.
Yeah.
Plus, I have a self-produced album that is soon to be completed. Plus, other producers have albums with me.
Wow.
So it line up for Kansas take years of dreadlocks, even if I'm gone. You know, so my thing is that I follow what Bob Marley said. A song is not a song until it's recorded, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a record. I don't even reason about nothing. I feel guilty if I get a message and don't deliver it.
Wow.
You know, so when a song comes to me, I just sing it, you know. What I come to do, I have to do. You know?
Yeah.
See?
Definitely.
Yeah, because that's what I'm all about. Because people seem to think that they must put material things before people. I don't see no role models in Rasta or no other person. I just trying to save my soul. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, definitely.
Just that I'm on that mission. I have to present myself to the Almighty. Not pure and clean, but as good as I can be, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
You know
yeah, definitely. And you know what? It's an inspiration in its own way. You know, you're just telling your story, your history, and kind of just what you're putting out there is a blessing. And I always give thanks to every artist, but you in particular, because like I said, I used to listen to you and still do now. So I give thanks for each song you put out. I'm listening, definitely.
Yeah, give thanks.
Every time.
You're more than my fan now. You're like an AC.
Yeah, man. Definitely. It's been a blessing, man. And, you know, one thing I wanted to ask you as well is I know, you know, I wanted to find out, like, in Jamaica and, you know, the younger ones up and coming in Jamaica, do they appreciate the music that you've put out?
No, it's just coming into their bloodstream now. That's what I tell you before. Now I'm getting more airplay. That's the while to before I come inside the house. I come from studio.
Yeah.
Cause I live in the studio. I sleep at home, you know.
Wow.
So I come from studio, so I'm look up with them. I say, "Pray up, we just hear Muta Baruka beat to your tune them, you know."
Wow.
And nowadays it comes so common now to hear my songs played when like you feel now like it's just going to be happening. Because in Jamaica, them don't usually play me. This is you call it office.
Yeah.
So them flood the airwaves with the dancehall thing and the artists them who get some recognition, and the independent producer who cannot afford certain things, is really pay all that thing run the thing. You have to drop our money.
Yeah.
But the bad thing about it, when the artists them never get big yet and you drop money and them get rich now, I either run them down to play them tune. But they said like a small man we can't afford it. If you want to pay you to play them song when the big man we can afford it, them now look at them and say, well, the latest tune in now, give me the tune, you know. See?
Yeah. Wow.
So it's money them all about till them a man bust now and them you know, so the whole thing is that them subdue and put good artists and songs from back burner if that you have the right marketing. So recently now people start to feel like you know, them have some bad tune even this, and it's true a little young producer or a man who have a little bag and not have much money and start get some radio station first job to play.
Yeah.
And people start to hear it. I say, I hear a new tune, you know. They call them now, so the poor man has some money in top of the radio station. Right to get some play, you know.
Yeah, for real. Wow.
A lot of good songs don't get airplay. And you know, some notice, if some songs not even great but true, the money drop and pay so much, you start to believe it, the song is like it. And you all start feeling it too. And I sing it too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you just like hear it so much. You say, right, it's a big song, I tell you.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. Wow. So, you know...
What you tell me about it?
So, you know, I wanted to ask you as well, before kind of finishing the interview, I wanted to know, who are you listening to at the minute? When you turn on your speakers, who does Fredlocks listen to?
Me?
Yeah.
What people will be surprised to know, I like to listen to Romy and Virgo.
Yeah.
As a new artist, non-Rasta, but I love the singing voice. I love singers.
Yeah.
But I love to listen to Diamonds as my You know, I like Etana.
Yeah.
You know, I probably listen to all this. What the new age people them to me that can carry on the thing. Like newer age, like I see Etana as one of the greatest female artists since Master Griffith and Judy Moore of them.
Yeah.
And Doreen Schaefer and you know all them long time great female artists. Yeah. I think she really can sing. I Romeo and Virgo and like them artists, I like them. And I like them singing voice. I like Sanchez. I like the Mighty Diamond.
Yeah.
You know, my old school thing can't come out of me. Alton Lewis, Ken Booth, Leroy Sibbles, you name them, you know. Old school, I think are the best singers from such time.
Yeah.
It also about the equal them because Alton Lewis is one of the greatest voices, but overall, Dennis Brown is my favorite singer.
Yeah.
You know?
For real. Well,
yeah.
You can't argue with Dennis Brown. You can't argue with him.
No.
You can't argue with it.
I can listen to Dennis Brown for a month straight.
Wow.
I don't believe Dennis Brown have no tune I don't like. You know.
True. Definitely.
Yeah, Dennis Brown is. I eventually got an interview one day, and them asked him who was his favorite singer, and said Dennis Brown, because Dennis Brown is a singer.
Yeah.
Like a singer, every singer wants to be like D Brown at one time. Even when they was younger than us. But Dennis Brown, I heard him on a show at about 9 years old, and I was like, oh my God, this little boy can sing. Yeah. And we have him by a couple of years, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I'll be 71 next month.
Wow.
And, you know, yeah, man, but, you know, Ken Booth, I just saw him 2 years ago. And, you know, I'm going to do some dub play. People call him, phone can't stop ringing up. That's how I get most of my food, too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, most of the time it's dub play, because, if I could say so myself, I'm very witty. So I them love about me. Them say every time I do a special, I feel the song special. Because I don't keep doing the same lyrics over and over, even if it's the same song.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
I even counteracting myself now. People ask me, I do Black Star and I say 7 seconds and that song gets slaughtered. See?
Yeah.
Throw them in the harbor. So the sound system, the man called me and said, yeah, you do that one, but I say it take more than 7 seconds to kill my sound, boy, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, counteract my own thing. I'm not going to say, we don't need $1 million dub plate to murder some sound boy. And a man come and say, yeah, boy, you need more than $1 million dub plate, you know? Wow. And I'm going to say, so,
wow.
I have some serious intro.
Definitely.
Wing clash intro, my intro them wing clash, you know?
Yeah, for
so,
real.
So I find a lot of people say, one thing is, because you have some big singer, them own studio, and when they make a special to do, them just tell the brother must check out the sound name when they want to sing that sound name and keep the same words. But me make them get that, them have to get alert now and say, yeah, when they're not that, because people say, no, I'm tired of that, I hear that before, man, you know, see, tell them start after straighten up. Which me, they have said that piece to me, so I'm not to repeat. If not put part of special in that thing, not come with some new part too.
Yeah.
So man, have it different, you know?
For real.
Yeah?
Definitely.
So,
yeah.
So I'm saying the specialist.
Yeah, definitely. We'd be up for singing a little something for the listeners out there, because when you were singing those tunes a minute ago, I was just bopping along, for real.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I cover Dennis Brown in Separate, and I love singing it.
Okay.
So I'm going to sing part of it. Only you gave you meaning to my life. You'll forever be here with me. Inseparable we are. I'm ecstatic, excited of a newly-found love. Right here in my arms, you will always stay. Ooh, yeah. Inseparable we are. I'm not getting no more, no.
Wow. Wow. You know what, Fred Lux, it's been an absolute blessing to speak with you. You know, it's been an honor.
Come answer to me. You know that my white brethren from Austria, I want to record you. I want to come to the studio and I wish you did better. I would like you to do something on it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I thought he was going to leave it because he just never wanted, because I was going for the next day and I never know. So I'm coming now. And because I'm a white man and people probably don't, I just decided not having a song, we're going to start to sing about now to rest. Did you have that song written before? I said, no. It's a can't believe it.
Wow.
And I said, all right. So the next day, the brother come to me again and said, the man, I go back and Austrian, you know, so him came out airport and he want to do some video footage. So we just jump in the car the next day and go up on the airport road and stop and do the video. I'm almost late for the flight.
Wow.
This is how God give it, you know, and this is how I accept it and this is how I love it too.
Yeah.
I just spontaneous and it just come out good. And the brother sent me back and said, Fred Oaks, this song is doing so good, I love it, and you know. I thank you very much, you know. So give thanks for the most time, to God be the glory, you know.
Definitely.
I want to tell a story, you know.